Good evening, everyone. Oh, hello. How you doing? Oh, yes, how you doing? I'm here going over some notes, and I was thinking about the show I was going to do today. It's very important because a lot of us are getting very anxious, and I think that is part of gardening. You just get very anxious at the beginning of the year. But I wanted to reflect a little bit about the kind of weather that we got this year, 2018, the spring and summer. It was pretty rough here in Zone 7B. It was pretty rough. It came in. It was very cold. We had problems with a lot of. Thank you for the thumbs up. We had a lot of problem with moisture, which was a lot of rain. We got a ton of rain this year, and in fact, the weather that we had went down in history. Now, something I saw somewhere that said that we've been having very funny weather ever since 2014. It's been very strange. So even though we're coming up on the gardening season, I think we should keep that in mind because we just don't know what the weather's going to tell us this year. Is it going to be mild and warm like heat? Is it going to be extremely wet like it was this year that just passed in some locations? Are we going to have an issue with our plants that can't survive in extreme heats? Or is it going to stay cold all the way up past the end of the what they call it, the freeze, last of the freeze? When is it? It says here in Zone 7B that I could start putting things out April 15th. Now, last year or 2018, that wasn't the case. I mean, if you put something out there, it jumped around and got cold again. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up, everyone. Thank you. I appreciate that. But that's what took place. So the weather's gonna be a factor. It's gonna be a very important factor. Um, Getting the right soil, another number one factor that's going to play a valuable role in what takes place in your garden this year. I have clay soil. Um, if you know how to work with clay soil, you shouldn't have any problems. Clay soil has one thing I can think about at this very moment is a very good benefit of clay soil, and that is that clay soil has a lot of minerals in it, lots of minerals. And clay soil, if you know how to work it, how to loosen it up, and I'm not talking about going to a tiller because a tiller can be detrimental to your garden, absolutely. And some people today still, in fact, till because they like to look at the ground and it's a clean sheet that doesn't have any or too many weeds in it. And I can understand that and I can respect that. However, I've been gardening for a number of years and learned that there's a lot I could do to get away from the weeds if I choose to, and also to be able to allow myself to keep my soil structure together because it's very difficult when you destroy your soil with a tiller. I did it for many years. I did that. I go through it 7 or 8 times per row, and it would be like light powder, and then the rains would come and it would turn into some kind of hard crust surface, and nothing grew any better because I used the weed whacker. Nothing grew any better. But now that I'm using a no dig method, I'm having more success. Uh, I'm seeing more life in my soil. I don't have the tools that anymore that would tear the soil apart, like the I did with the tiller. And the tiller was the machine, the only machine I use. I service it every year, and I fill it up with gas, and I go behind this thing, and it would make it hard for me to breathing that gas it was pumping out. And I would do it religiously because that's what I was taught about gardening. A lot of us were. And then when I found out you could do better, there was a young lady that hit me up yesterday. I want to say yesterday, and she had some collard greens that were uncooked. I think they were bad or something like that. And she was wondering, could she add that to her soil? Absolutely. You could add it to your compost pile. You could dig a hole and throw it in the ground, or you could lay it on top of the ground like I do. I just lay it on top, and it goes in the ground on its own. Um, the thing about it is feeding your soil is what we got to get most people into, and that is just how does it work when you want to grow carrots and beets. How do you deal with clay soil when you want to when you want to put in carrots and beets? Now, what you're referring to, and a lot of us here know, you're referring to a root crop. And what I do with a root crop, because I grew carrots for many years and had much success with them. All I did was I use a pitchfork, and the chimes on the fork go right into the ground, 8 inches deep. I rock back on it just to let the air and loosen the soil up. Now watch this. I go back about another 2 or 3 inches, depending on how compact my soil is. I might be able to go back 6 inches if it's not compact. But I go back 2 or 3 inches and repeat that. Rock back, in the ground, 8 inches, rock back, 8 inches, rock back, 8 inches, rock back. Now, what's happening here is I'm loosening the soil up, and I'm also aerating the soil. This will allow you to plant these crops you're referring to. Because if you don't walk in that area the whole garden season, those carrots can penetrate right through that soil because you created openings, and they will go right through there and do what they need to do, which is grow. Um, I would sprinkle the seeds on top, and then I would cover them over with a compost, either homemade compost or cow manure, and I would gently tamp it down and water it in. And guess what? You got carrots planted. You got beets planted. Because you don't need to do anything to the soil like adding sand and that sort of thing to the soil. When you add sand, you got to be very careful because a lot of times you just can't undo that. And sand and clay makes good concrete. So if you add too much of it, you got a problem. If you add just the right amount, you can work with it. And that's just how that goes. But carrots, well, I guess you like carrots. Beets, I can see you growing. Carrots, I can see you growing. Yeah, I can see you growing carrots because a lot of farmers use carrots as a cleanup crop. They don't value them because they don't bring a lot of money in. But they use it as a cleanup crop to pull the impurities out of their soils, and then they sell that stuff. Um, so picking a carrot that is instead of being extremely elongated, a shorter, more stout carrot for clay soils can be also something you might want to consider. Just give that some thought and see how that works out, and bring it back in the room, and we'll talk about it and see how it works. But you asked the right question. That is what you want to do. Yep, that's what you want to do, and always grow what you want to eat. Never grow with things that you say, I'm just going to grow this because. No, grow it because you want to eat it. Because if you're not going to really enjoy it being there if you're not waiting on it, to have it in a meal, or if it's a type of fruit to have it in a dessert. So let's keep that in mind. It's a beautiful thing, man. Gardening is an absolutely beautiful thing. It's like getting really great food for pennies. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their own taste. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Always get what you want. And remember that the seeds are already in the stores. They're there now. Call first. Call first because Lowe's has all the seeds. Walmart doesn't. Thank you very much. Oh, anytime, anytime. No problem at all. I wish that more people were like you. And, when I come into the room, they don't ask questions a lot of times. They just don't. And then there's some that, like yourself, that will ask a question. And that's what we're here for. And then somebody else in the room might answer the question. And be a solid answer. But I love it because it allows us to share ideas and knowledge over the internet. One day, they're going to actually increase the connectivity so that they can actually have people's face in the room. So that's entertaining as well. Um, but yeah, grow some carrots if you want that. I'm going to grow squash this year. I'm also going to grow peppers. Peppers are expensive. That's why I want to grow peppers, and I like peppers. Banana peppers are one of my favorites. And what was the other thing? Also, oh my goodness, bell peppers. Bell peppers. Yeah, but I think when you grow bell peppers, this just works for me. I'm gonna grow a large number of plants so that I know that I'm always got some peppers coming on. Because sometimes in my area, peppers can be kind of standoffish depending on the temperatures throughout the week or month, you know. And so, yeah, I want to do more. Maybe I might do 8 or 9 bell peppers, 8 or 9 hot peppers, 8 or 9. And that way you definitely, because peppers are expensive. And I love peppers. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Nobody's interested in peppers. I love them. And don't forget, I also do the okra. I do the okra. It's like a religious thing. I must plant okra each year. A big burly plant. I think I'm gonna do about maybe 8 or 9 plants. Let's see. I'm glad to hear that. I'm absolutely glad to hear that. I tried your idea with the mini greenhouse. Oh my goodness, I like that because when I first set that greenhouse up, I just grabbed some stuff from my neighbor. He had this box he was throwing out, and I said, "Oh man, I don't want to drag that in my house." But I said, "Let me see what it is." And I looked at the size and the dimensions of it, and I said, "Wait a minute, this thing looks good." And that being said, I started to fix it up and look at what lights would fit in it and how I would rig it up and I guess would look at it. I would look at it like this, and I would look and see what would work. And when I found out what worked, I started putting it together. Moved here. I said, wait a minute, I could do this. Oh, wait a minute, I could do that. Now the ideas. Wait, I don't understand. You trying to grow what? In a greenhouse? Oh, I don't understand the question. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, wait a minute. I think she tried to grow okra. I think is what you mean. Okra easy to grow. You just always make okra the last thing you plant because it likes really warm soil, warm temperatures. Don't put it out. Don't rush it out and go. Well, I'm gonna plant it in the spring. Don't do that. Okra is the last thing you'll plant because it doesn't like cold weather. Doesn't like it all. Doesn't like cool weather. Doesn't care for it at all. That's okra. And you better check the plant every 2 or 3 days because you come out there and have okra that long, and it's no good for nothing but seeds when it gets that long. So, you will do that at the end of the year, allow it to go to seed because I've been using the same seeds for close to 5 years now, the same exact plant, the same. And once the seeds become familiar with your soil, that is important. Once it becomes familiar with your soil, that's any seed. Once it picks up the genetics or the chemical makeup of your soil, those seeds will, once you put them in the ground, they don't have to go through a long process. I'm sorry. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, okra. Kind of figured you might have been talking about okra. And once the seeds go in the ground, they become familiar with your soil. So always try to grow something and let it go to seed. If it's a cucumber you really like, let it go to seed. Let it get big and big and big near the end of the year, whatever, and let it get big. And then when it gets big enough, then you start going through the process of extracting those seeds. Same thing with any other plant that you know that you want to save the seeds to, whether it be bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, any of that. Let it get big enough and you save the seeds. You will be more successful once that pepper goes all the way to maturity and turns red and everything. Then you got full mature seeds, and that's what you want. You don't want to keep. You want to get to a point where everything you buy, you got to run into the store to go get seeds because these seeds are not familiar with your soil. They keep changing them a little bit each year. You don't want to keep going through that. You want a good pepper that you bite into and you say, that is really, it's good. It's sweet, yet, and that's what you want to do. Once you do that, you want to save the seeds to that. You don't want to get rid of it. And you put them, if you're doing a pepper, you take them out of the pepper, you sprinkle them on a plate for about 2 to 3 days or longer and allow them to dry and then put them in an envelope. I like to use bill collector envelopes because they're good for something. They're free. And you take the junk mail out or whatever and you fold it over and you staple it closed and you put the bell peppers 2019, whatever, and you put that on there, and you put that away with your other seeds. You do the same with your tomatoes. If you start growing a tomato that you really love, keep growing that same tomato. Keep growing that same tomato. Okay. Yeah. So that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. Um, People go online. They give you information about gardening, and I'm gonna tell you, a lot of you have run across this. They will go through their their best vocabulary and everything to make gardening as difficult for you to understand as possible. And then you have the people that dumb it all the way down. It's like an insult when they say, "We're gonna grow, let's say, we're gonna grow peppers." Now this is a flower pot, and this right here is a shovel, and they're insulting you by doing that. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's an insult. Then they have the people who go overboard with making it really complex, and then they use words like uh, "this is the only way you can grow it" or "this is how it grows." No, that's the way you grow it. That's the way you've been growing it. That's the way you've been taught. But don't tell other people that this is the only way this plant will grow or this plant must be grown in this fashion. No, it doesn't work that way. Just tell people you grow it like this. All my videos always tell you this is how I grow it. This is how I grow this plant. Oh, that is great. I'm just looking at this right here because I just want to make sure I was clear on it. The saving seeds for 4 years. Congratulations, congratulations, absolutely. And you see that the tomato is well worth the effort. Of course, it is because you've been growing it for 4 years. Always keep that strand up in your garden. If that's what you love, those seeds will become familiar with the soil, familiar with the temperatures in your area, and even the way that you feed them and water them. They're familiar with you. The seeds will become familiar with you, and they will do. They will know. Okay, let's see, he only waters every 3 days, and they'll know that. They don't. They're not like we know it, but their genetics know what to expect from the environment. That's how they survive. Plants survive because they adapt, and adaptation is a very important part of their survival. And all plants do it. So, but the thing about it is, make certain that you do save seeds. I have mustard green and kale and collards and all kind of seeds, peppers and everything. I just, watermelon. I save the seeds of those and everything. I save those seeds because they're valuable. You look at a set of seeds today. I never thought I never thought years ago I'd be paying close to $3 for a pack of seeds. I used to see seeds back in the day. They were so cheap, and you would get these seeds, and these seeds would be good quality, and they were cheap. You know, but now they do very decorative artwork on the packaging where the tomatoes are, they're dripping water off of them, and they look great. Congratulations. Okay, first live. Let's see. Yes, seeds really. Yes, thank you for saying that. Seeds get pricey. Seeds do get pricey because these companies are they have their meetings, and when they have those meetings, they know that there are people or numbers are increasing on gardens, and people are not gardening like they once did. It used to be something for the old folks. It used to be something grandma, and granddad did, and that's what they did. And they simply gardened because they liked it. Now, gardening is for survival. If you have that ability to, okay, and okra, excuse me, seeds help you to save money. Seeds increase your income. And people say, well, why do you say that? What do you mean when you say increase your income? Well, let's see. If you look at the number of dollars that you spend per year on yourself and your family eating, and if you're able to look at the cost of tomatoes and cucumbers and lettuce and Swiss chard and collard greens and kale, when you look at all of that, watermelons and fruits and blackberries and raspberries, whatever, you look at all of that, grapes and everything. Look at that. And you look at how much you spend per year on those particular items. And then you look at how much you actually can grow once you fully understand what it is you're doing and get a good idea. You can grow as much food as you want to. You can grow more food than you know what to do with. And that, sir or ma'am, is increasing your income because you're not spending it on things that you don't have to. Yeah, definitely do that. Definitely do that. Definitely do that. I just want to make sure everybody does that. Uh, definitely make sure that you do that because you definitely want to make certain that you take care of your garden because people love to definitely definitely want to make certain that you do the right thing. Do the right thing. Grow some food. Grow some food. Grow some food. It's a beautiful thing, folks. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when you grow some food, and the taste of it is incredible. And on that note, everyone, I'm going to go and see if I get a little bit of karaoke in tonight. This is one day I have off tonight. One day I have off and then go back to work tomorrow. But I want to thank all of you for tuning in. You've been great. Thank you, and keep checking out my videos and subscribe if you haven't already. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you. Thank you.